Good day and welcome to the SitePlan Viewer webinar. My name is Isak van Niekerk and I'm based in the RIP Candy offices in Cape Town. I specialize in testing, training and user support for Candy software. Today's session will focus on the SitePlan Viewer, a free application available to anyone involved in a project. This tool allows you to view the project programs, analyze them and generate reports, all without requiring a Candy license. The agenda for today is as follows. We will start with an introduction and explaining the purpose of the SitePlan Viewer. Then we'll have an installation guide, learn how to install the SitePlan Viewer. Then we'll talk about recovering a Candy planning backup, a step-by-step process how to do that. We'll look at the tools and menus overview, explore the tools and menus available in the SitePlan Viewer. Then we'll look at the SitePlan Viewer reports available, how to print reports and how to create your own customized reports in the SitePlan Viewer. And then we'll also look at exporting programs from out of the SitePlan Viewer, such as the exporting of a Primavera XER file that can be opened up in Primavera or a Microsoft Project XML file. Note, today's presentation is recorded and you will receive a link to download it. There are regular webinars on various Candy topics, and should you not be able to attend a webinar at a given time frame, then please still register for the webinar, as this will entitle you to receive a link to a recorded copy of the webinar. As this webinar is pre-recorded, we will not be able to answer any questions during the webinar. Please email any questions that you might have to your local RIP Candy offices. We will then collate these questions and send the answers to everybody that registered for this webinar via email. So let's dive in and explore what the SitePlan Viewer has to offer. The construction industry utilizes several scheduling software applications, with each stakeholder often favoring different tools. While the fundamental principles of the scheduling remain consistent across these platforms, convention differences can emerge, especially when converting schedules from one software to another. Candy, which is a preferred software among contractors, excels in linking the program activities with priced items in the BOQ, enabling accurate forecasting, true cash flow, and effective project cost control. In contrast, other stakeholders, such as consultants and clients, may opt for scheduling tools like Primavera, Microsoft Project, or Power Project, as these often meet their less complex integration requirements. When consultants analyze schedules produced by a contractor's planner, they typically require the program in their preferred software format, such as Primavera XML type or Microsoft Project XML types. Candy facilitates this conversion and has recently added support for exporting schedules as XER type files compatible with both Primavera and Power Project. However, these conversions can introduce discrepancies due to differences in software conventions. For instance, a specialized function in Candy, such as tied or hammock activities, where one of the logic links get altered or ignored due to different conventions, might lead to discrepancies in the program. Additionally, a limitation in Microsoft Project prevents the same predecessor from having both start-to-start and end-to-end links within an activity. This causes the start-to-start link to be omitted during conversions and potentially resulting in discrepancies in dates between the original and converted schedules. Such discrepancies often lead to frustration and conflicts between planners and consultants. To address this, the free SitePlan Viewer allows consultants to analyze the original program created in Candy. This tool enables them to assess the planner's intentions and logic while mitigating issues arising from software conversions. Furthermore, SitePlan Viewer allows XML and XER exports, ensuring that the consultants can review schedules in their software of choice while preserving the integrity of the construction schedule's logic and feasibility in the SitePlan Viewer for reference. This shift in focus from convention differences to schedule logic streamlines collaboration and reduces misunderstandings. Getting started with the SitePlan Viewer is simple. Just download the software from our official website. Note the download links will be shown at the end of this presentation. install the application on your computer. Take note, the SitePlan Viewer software can also be installed on a computer that already has Candy software installed. The data for the SitePlan Viewer is installed separately from the Candy's data. Once you've got it installed, you can open a Candy planning schedule in the SitePlan Viewer. Let's see how to install. Once you've got the program, the executable file downloaded, just double click on it. It'll ask you if you want to install, confirm yes. It'll bring up the installation dialog box. Just click next, leave everything as is, click next and install. Right now you'll ask if you want to launch the application and see the user guide. Let's keep both ticked. Let's say finish. The user guide will open up and the program will be launched. The user guide is now in the background. You can look at the user guide to see more information about SitePlan Viewer. Let's close this. Right, and it opens up into the program manager. So what will happen is your Candy planner, or the planner that worked on Candy planning, will submit you a planning backup, and you'll recover it in here. And the way to do it will be right click, open program, and then go to the file or the folder where you stored the backup. Now if the backup is not a planning backup, it will not open. So you'll see what's going to happen now. We've got a job backup here, and if I say open, I'm going to get a message that the backup application is a mismatch and it must be a planning backup. So whenever you get this message, just ask the originator of the program to send you back the planning backup, not the job backup. Let's close that for a moment. Let's go back to the main menu, Program Manager, and delete this empty program that it tried to make. Right click again, open. This time I'm going to select a program that I know is a planning backup. So that's the progress update number 2. Open that up. Gives me a message. Is this the program that you want to recover? Confirm, recover the data, and it opens up. Double click on the program, click on the document manager, and select the standard bar chart. And there is the bar chart as produced by the planner. You will notice that what we've opened up is a default view. You can customize the view either on screen by adding and removing columns. So for instance, I can add the current start date, I can add the current finish date, say OK, and it will appear. Or I can go back to the document manager and open up another document, activity list of production maybe, and there I can see if there's anything that was filled in by the original planner. That information would also be available. There's my resources, there's 1 or 2 productions, well only 1, so that is available for me. I can also go and make new documents if necessary, make a bar chart, make a standard bar chart for instance, and maybe rename it with float. Customize the bar chart, go to the float columns, drag and drop it where I want it, say OK, and open that up, and now I've got the bar chart with float, and I can see if there's any delays, like in this case there's a 6-day delay. It's advisable to make your own views based on the functions that you want to analyze. Let me show you what we mean. If we close all the documents on the screen, we select the program again, and we select the document manager, you will notice that our screen document manager has been grouped together in things like progress, resources, and you can use the defaults or you can add columns. But for instance, bar chart with resource allocation was used to allocate resources, or progress bar chart was used to allocate actual starts finish, remaining duration, float, and current percentage complete. These columns were added afterwards. As you can see on this view, it's already been customized from the default. The float and the current percentage complete column was added. Let's just clear the screen and look at other functions available for you. Let's go back and select the standard bar chart again. Okay, and let's move up till the top. Right, let's look at functions available for you. So let's edit, find, go to a certain activity if you know the number, view levels, tools, bar chart, and you can see there's also export to Excel. However, if you try to use it, you will notice that SitePlan Viewer doesn't allow the export to Excel. Okay. Right, then we also have the bar chart. We can change the bar chart legend, show it on and off, histogram if there was planning resources in there, progress, and visualize. Okay, so let's start with the view tool. If you want to manipulate the work breakdown structure, you can choose to close to the lowest level as used by the planner in this program, so you can see what the planner was thinking when he put the program together. Or you can close to a specific level. As you can see, he broke the program down into site establishment, fan foundation, substation, and contractual handovers. Okay, if we want to see everything again, it's a matter of open all, and you can see the whole program. Let's go and do some analysis. So we add some columns on this standard view. I'm going to add the float column as well. And let's look at the other view options available for us. So click on view. We've got filter options. Okay, so we've got activity filters, we've got date range filters, logic filters, program debug, and progress filters. Let me just show you how the activity filter works. First of all, you want to put yourself on the activity that you want to use in your filter, in this case handover substation. Because what we want to do is we want to see what's the reason why this handover substation is -6 days late. So we go to view, we choose filter, standing on the activity A600, we go to the option activity filters and we choose successors and predecessors with the same float. Basically asking the computer to show us everything that's linked to this handover substation that has got a -6 day float. Once I click on that, a filter toolbar will appear. You can move it to where you want it. Just look for it on the screen. Sometimes it appears on the top left hand corner, but sometimes it appears in the middle. Once you move it, it will appear in the position that you've moved it. Right, so here's our filter. We can show the rejects, so you can see the whole program there, but the activities that do not adhere to the filter is grayed out. You can hide the rejects, so you can see only the items that's got a -6 that's linked to the handover substation. So basically what you now see on the screen, the reason for the delay is this activity. That is excavate footings and blinding. And if I want to show it in comparison with the base program, instead of putting the base dates on the screen, I can just quickly show the base bars in the background, and I can see the delay where the blue bars indicate where the activity should have started versus the purple or the overrun bars indicating the current predicted position based on the current status on site. Right, we can abandon that filter. So we've used the activity filters. You've got other filters available for you. You've got a date range filter where you can show the activities within a certain date range. You've also got a filter, a logic filters. Show me just the critical activities, no float. And on the screen, I've got only the activities that's either 0 float or negative float. Right, and then what is nice, what you can highlight here is you can visualize and you can say show me the critical activities, and notice the text description of all the critical items go dark red. And you can also say show me the overrun activities, and now the ones that's got a negative float has got a red background. So if you go and abandon the filter, you can now visually see which is critical with 0 float and which is actually overrunning. Okay, and if you want to get back, you can just go and switch it off. Right, if you want to see something about the activity, some details, what does this activity linked to, you can go show activity properties, and the properties will appear. Okay, and then you can see what's the predecessors and successors that is linked to this. Right, and you can just switch it off again. Some other filters available for you will be, we've looked at the logic filters, let's look at the program debug, where you can say show me activities with open ends. Okay, and there is one open end activity in this program, but it's complete, so it doesn't matter. But in real life scenarios, you would like to see all the open ends and make sure that they close, otherwise you're not going to get the right progress status. Let's abandon that. Let's click on view. We're going to use a filter. We can also use progress filters. Let's click on that, view again, filter, and then we can also look at progress filters. These are self-explanatory. Show me activities not started, started or completed, started and in progress, have not completed, have completed an activity that should have started according to base. The one that you might find handy here is the rolling horizon, or what some guys know as a spotlight. For the guys, it's come from a Primavera background. So there's a 10-day rolling horizon, meaning only show me what's going to happen in the next 10 days. Once I click it, the filter goes out. So on the screen now you see only the activities that's either in progress or it's going to commence within the next 10 working days. And that is the activities that you need to concentrate on. Let's abandon the filter. Another type of filter that you might find handy is called a filter on fragment. It allows you to filter on certain words in the description, and it works as follows. Let's say you want to filter out all the excavation items. You just go to the first description where the word excavation is. You swipe, click, hold your mouse in and swipe to the right. Select a couple of letters, right click on that, choose filter on fragment. Then choose what you want to do. Do you want to reduce by keeping? In this case, that's what we're going to do. Confirm the green tick. And on the screen is only excavation items that you can see. If you also want to add to that the backfill, you put your cursor in the column that you want to filter. Click on the plus, apply the filter to the current column where your cursor is, or to the previous column. Activity description, both in the same in this case, so it doesn't matter what we choose, but let's choose apply filter to the current column. Right, and in there we say increase by adding everything that's got the word B-A-C-K or back in the word, and the letters B-A-C-K. Confirm, and now you've got backfill also added to the filter. Once you see what you want to see, you can just abandon the filter, and you've got your program back as before. Some other functions available under the view menu is sort and group by. Sort allows you to sort by any column. Let's look at current start date, and now the activities is sort in order of start date. You can abandon that. There's also group by, so let's group by, custom group by, and let's look at the subcontractors that's been allocated in this program. Say OK, and your program is temporarily sorted by in groups of subcontractors. Now the first heading level obviously indicates there was no subcontractors allocated to these activities, so we can close them. They're not applicable now. But the others, there we can see the drainage subcontractors work, the electrical subcontractors work, the earthworks, mechanical and roofing subby. Okay, and what you do on the screen can also be done in the report for a printout. The screen sort and group by is temporary, so you'll see there's always a abandon button, and once you click abandon, it will abandon. Let us show you some other tools and functions available. So let's look at bar chart, for instance. Color bars by subcontractor. This will only work if the original planner has allocated subcontractor codes to activities with relevant colors. So let's select that and see what happens here. Now we can see the bars are there in different colors, and the bars without subcontractor codes is displayed with no fill inside. Let's go back and let's color bars by float. Right, we've also got the bird's eye view that you can use to move around in the program fast, and as you click it will move to where you click, and then you can close it, but that requires that you know the program. Right, we also have histograms available. If the planner has allocated planning resources to the program, it'll come with the backup. So you can see the planning resources and you can see the histogram. Let's look at the concrete for this job. Confirm the green tick. You can see the histogram below, and as you move your cursor to the left and the right, you can see the little indicator running up and down, and on the left bottom left hand corner of the screen you can see the status of the daily value. You can also go, once you've got a histogram on screen, you can change the histogram options. You can compare current and late, and you can plot it in a cumulative value as well. There you've got a cumulative histogram on the screen. You can then also clear the histogram. Right, on this side you've got base bars. You can also say show the percentage complete for bars and headings, but at the moment all the headings are still open, so there's no headings displayed. So it's a matter of going to view level, and it's close to the lowest level, and there you can see the relevant progress bars in the headings. Let's open that up again, view, open all. There's also views specifically for instance resources. So let's go to the resources view and look at resources bar chart with resource allocation. Here you can see exactly the resource allocation that was made, or you can look at another way. You can say resource list of bar chart, and there you can see the resource, concrete for instance, total for the job, and here's the distribution over time, and the spread, because the concrete is not being cast for the full 10 days, it's only cast for the last 3 days, which is 70 to 100%, as you can see indicated in the yellow spread bar. Okay. Right, other thing that you might find handy, let's just open up that program again and look at this. Let's say you want to show, you're busy writing a letter for extension of time claim, and you want to show the reason why things are late, and instead of printing out the whole program, you can just do a screen capture, take a capture of that, save it to a clipboard, save it as a picture or print it, and only that portion will now be pasted back into the document where you're busy writing your claim. Right, let's clear the screen and go back to the program manager. Let's open up another program, for instance the broken tooth that we had recently on a webinar. Let's open that, cover that, open that up, go to the document manager, look if the code allocation is done. There's the code allocation done. Close that document. Let's go back down here, choose 5.6 broken tooth editor, select that, and because all the information is in the broken tooth program, you can now also see the broken tooth on screen and later print it out. Okay, and there is your hotel rooms and the status. As you can see, ceiling grid is behind. This is not done, it's total overrun. Okay, let's clear the screen again. Let's recover another program. Let's look at update 1. Let's open the screen. Let's look at update 1's progress bar chart. Right, we can split the screen in half. We can go back to the program manager. We can look at update 2. Look at the same view, progress bar chart, split the screen to the top. And now you can visibly check what the difference is between update 2 and update 1 in the screen below. It's another function available for you. Right, let's clear the screen. Let's go back to progress update 2. Next, we're going to have a look at the reports as created by the original planner. To do that, we can go to the icon that says Report Manager or click on Reports. Once you click on the Report Manager, it will open up the Report Manager with 2 tabs, Program Reports and Global Reports. Program Reports is the reports that were made by the original planner and backed up with the program. Global Reports is reports that you can make for yourself in the SitePlan Viewer that you can use on any other program that you've recovered. Let's look at the program reports in here. So there's the basic reports, heading, management reports, resource reports, long leads, and information reports. Let's look at some of the things of interest. The key date report that's been created. So let's preview that. And on the screen we can see the contract handover dates only that was filtered out, and we can see that we are currently finishing on the 15th of Feb. We should be finished on the 6th of March contractually, so we had still 13 days float on this commission fan. Previously we had 19 days float, so a float difference of -6, so we're actually starting to eat up our float. The handover substation is slightly worse. Contractually we should be finished by the 6th of March. We're currently predicting to be finished on the 14th of March, which is 6 days negative float. Previously we were actually 1 day ahead of program, so we've lost that 1 day and we've lost a further 6 days, so we now have the float difference of -7. Let's close that. Let's look at the cause of delay. Let's preview that, and here we can see exactly filtered out only the activities that's got a -6 or negative float, and we can clearly see the cause of delay is the one that's activity that's crossing the time now. That is the reason why we're late, and that is our first point of investigation to see if we can fix that to get back on track. We can also look at a 2-week look ahead. In this case I'm going to use the same filter was used. We were looking at only the negative items in the next 2 weeks because that's our focus to get back on track. And there we have it. We can see there's a rolling horizon that was done, and you can see it's between 5 days back and 2 weeks onwards. Only the negative floats. Right, and obviously you can customize any one of these reports or you can even make a new report and add that to your list and customize it to suit your requirements and print and preview that if necessary. Okay, there's other reports in here that you might find of interest, long leads or procurements reports. So let's look at that. So there we have the report. We can close that. We can customize the report maybe, and we can look at the layout or the printer, and instead of portrait we can have it landscape, so it makes more sense for us. And there we can see clearly the activities that should happen off site, which should have already, because we are now on time now. We've already passed that period, and so you can go through all the items that's still required and appointments still required there, as you can see. Let's close that. You've also got the information required bar chart where you can see, okay, let's look at that, and that is the items that we need information from and when do we need the information. That was all set up by the original planner in his original program. Note, the long lead schedule and information schedule is not available in the SitePlan Viewer. That's only available Candy planning application that you rent. Next, we're going to look at how to export a Candy planning program from the SitePlan Viewer as an XER file that can be opened up by Primavera or Asta Power Projects. You need to do the following. Click back on the program manager, highlight the program or stand on the program that you want to export, click on Tools, Export, and the first thing to do is to set the export default folder. You can use the default as it is there, or you can go and select your own default folder and say, okay, I want to do it in my backups planning conversions. Right, open that up, and there is the folder. Say okay, that gets saved, and now when you say Tools, Export again, you can say Export a Primavera XER file. It does the export. There you can see an analysis display. If there was any errors encountered, it will display it there. Once you click on OK, the folder that you made, that's where it's saved. There you can see the XER file. There's no Primavera program on this computer that we're using, but what you can do, you can open it with either Notepad or Notepad++, and then you can see in the Notepad the actual Primavera XER program, and this is the program that you can now go and send to your consultant or whoever needs it in Primavera. Here is a quick illustration on how the XER file is imported into Primavera, as well as the settings that you have to make afterwards by changing the calculation option to make all open-ended activities critical. Note, you can also take this out to Microsoft. Again, you'll go to the program manager, highlight the program that you want to export. This time you're going to use the export and export a Microsoft XML file. Notice it's not an MPP file, it's an XML file. So when you want to open it up in Microsoft, you must open the file type XML, not MPP. Right, you select the file, it opens up where you want your download conversions, where you browse if you're not happy with that file, save it, and it's saved. But now we show you a warning. In Candy as well as Primavera, double links between two of the same activities will be allowed, but it's not allowed in Microsoft Project. So the start to start link is not imported by Microsoft Project and might have an influence on your dates. So just check that. Say OK. And if you want to export the progress, you can confirm, and it will open up and an XML file will be created. Take note, the XML file is also used by Edge as a web browser, so that's why you see the Edge little icon there. But you can also go and open up this file with Notepad, and you can see exactly where the data is, and now in your Notepad. This is the file that you will also send to whoever wants to open a Microsoft project, and they need to just remember to open it up as an XML file and not just double click on it, because it's not an MPP file. Right, the other option that you've got available here is, if you've still got very old Primavera 6.7 or 6.8, you can export that as an XML file. But those Primavera versions is from 2015, and most people don't have that anymore. So we advise that you use the Primavera XER file, because that is the latest Primavera files that can be read regardless of what version you have. It's important to take note what gets exported with the conversion file, whether XER or XML file. The program with its calendars as well as its work breakdown gets exported. Activities with their progress and logic and everything will also gets exported. As far as activity types is concerned, take note of how certain activity types get converted from Candy to the conversion file. Certain types are just exported as normal activities, as these types are unique to Candy planning. More important to take note is what does not get exported. And what does not get exported is all the BOQ related items. So the link to the program does not get exported. Monetary values, program auto link code, program bill link code doesn't get exported. No remarks, base program, or anything like that gets exported. Take note of what's on the screen at the moment. Then very important to take note also is the disclaimer that accompanies all our conversions, and it's also in our software, so please take note. A lot of work is still required from your side to make sure that everything came in correctly, as there might be discrepancies due to convention differences. Right, here is the download links that you can type in your browser, or you can use the scanner to scan, and where you can download the SitePlan Viewer for free. You can scan the following code on your screen, and that will create an email so that you can email us, so that we can also send you the download links if required. As we came to the end of the webinar, we want to remind you of the Help Center available in the software, where you can search for and find more information on various topics of Candy. Previous webinar recordings that you might have missed is also available in this Help Center. The Help Center menu or button is available on the top of right-hand corner of the screen, just below the version number. When you click this, it will open the Help Center website, and just use the search facility available to type in a topic of interest to display the notes and even possible webinars about the topic. As a reminder, we offer online as well as in-person training courses from basic to advanced. We also offer consulting on specific functionality and features within Candy to get your team equipped to get the best out of Candy. We host in-person and virtual seminars focused on various topics to assist in using Candy to its fullest potential. Regular webinars on various topics are also scheduled. Product advice and telephonic supports are also available. Please contact your local RIP Candy offices for more information. Keep in touch with our latest news, announcements, and upcoming events by following us on our social pages. Search for RIB Software on Facebook and LinkedIn, or scan the relevant QR code currently available on the screen to stay connected. We hope you enjoyed this webinar and found it insightful. Should you require any further information, kindly contact your local RIB Candy offices. Thank you for attending and enjoy your day.